Okay, here's a long way to part 3 of coming up with an original for a vocal synth track. Okay, let's get a couple things out of the way. I know for a fact that a lot of you guys were going like, oh, if none of those three pieces of software are actually good, what should I be getting? I mean, I did just try Havoc again at one point, just to see what see if he's any redeemable. Um, it's a little difficult to actually get some good uses out of him, but if you really want like good scream stuff, like he can pull the job, and like my band and I, we just did another song where we finally got another like synthesizer V track involved and everything. So it's like this is what you're gonna see today. Um, yeah, it they these banks they did turn out to be a little better than we originally thought. So if you really want to get started with at least something, like then synthesizer V might be your option for now. Um, but I also do recommend getting like a couple of Vocaloid products, especially like like I know for a fact that Cyber Diva has been criticized an awful lot because of how nasal she sounds, but like if you really want to make her into like a speed rapper, like that's where you really get your bang for buck, especially with her. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have Cyber Diva 2 because of that, and like yeah, like I plan to like bring her on a new track pretty soon with my band. Um, okay, so we're going to do a little bit of a rundown on how an instrumental would work in an original. Okay, so this is Hungry. It is one of our newest songs that we did. And yeah, let's have a look. Oh, it's taking a while. Okay, so that was Hungry, and we will now look at the individual tracks that we've put together. And yeah, let's start with the drums. At the top, we have the guitars and bass recorded like this. At the top, these are just scratch tracks. By that point, we already put the bass parts together, and we already put like the actual guitars together as well. We actually did all the guitars like edited and completely edited, and by that point we did put a demo like tone for the time being for like the scratch tracks, but the DIs were like finalized by this point. But here we'll just copy this just to like show you what we did with the drum tracks. Instrument track, transform to instrument track. There we go. Yeah, this is how the instrument, this is how the drums look. All these like scattered ones are, all these like really scattered ones are, oh, all these like really scattered ones are cymbals. Oh, and then these are the toms. And then C1 is the kick, and then C2 is the snare. The reason why the notes look like this, originally when you do the notes, they look kind of look like this. But what we did since then, we'll make sure it's like we got everything right, like that, like this. But like, what we would do is like shorten these a tiny little bit, and then humanize like that. That's how we got those to sound like that. But when we put these drum charts together, we made sure to look at like drum charts of other songs, like if especially like metalcore tracks. If you like look at stuff like, say for example, Shadow Moses or Temper Temper by Bullet for My Valentine, like Shadow Moses by Bring Me to the Horizon, and Temper Temper by Bullet for My Valentine. Like you look at those tracks, like the drum tracks of those Screaming Fire by Bullet for My Valentine as well. You'll learn like an awful lot about how drums work, and then you can put it together like this. We don't need this anymore because we already have everything like bounced to audio. And then these are just extra like, we added those to add depth to the tracks. Now let's go back to the main track, the main file, to see what we did to fix these drums. Here we have the drums right here. And this is what we did to fix the drums. Oh, what happened? Check. Okay, cool. So this is what we did to fix the drums. Normally the high pass filter should be at 100, and then the boost should be at around 110, but we ended up realizing that we ended up needing a little bit of the thump that comes with the electronic kick. So we backed both of those things, down just a slight touch. And then there's this scoop that at 1K that really needs to be there so that the guitars would cut through. And then 3K, that's the click of the kick. Lots of people like to boost 4K for the kick, the click of the kick, but I ended up realizing like over time I wound up realizing like those like the 4K ends up being way too like it sounds way too much like nails on a chalkboard. The 3K sounded more like that sweet spot, so I changed it to like 3K. And then bass would have to be like boosted at 3K as well, but that's gonna come in a little later. And then we have the snare. We ended up we end up like we end up like scooping all this stuff to like we ended up scooping all this stuff out to make the snare sound the way it should. Hi-hat, we didn't use hi-hats. Nothing done to that, nothing done to that. And these are just the extra effect sounds. And then there's the reverb, nothing done to the reverb. We already saw what happened to the reverb. Okay, no, you already saw, like, okay, if you want a refresher, we basically, like, use a drum plugin to, like, bring the power drum bus, like, down, and then we bypassed everything, like, to a certain frequency, and then added, like, a stock reverb plugin, and then just compress it slightly. And that's the drums. For bass, we took the bass DI of Umansky bass. No disrespect to Submission Audio, but the bass tones they dial are good, but they're not mix ready. In order for a good mix ready tone to be able to put together, you would have to like do entire bass tones like completely from scratch. Either that, or you would have had to like really like come up with like a complete interactive like bass amp like in the actual sampler. So we ended up having to like redo the bass tones from scratch. And so you can still hear me. Okay, cool. This is what we had to do to the this is what we had to do to the low pass, high pass, and this is the low end of the kick. I mean, not the kick. This is the low end of the bass. This is just clean DI. This is just clean DI with a compressor like this. We dialed these two different tones for the overdrive, and then we use the same preset that's based on somebody's this we use the same preset on both of these. They're based on somebody's somebody did a cover of Periphery's Absalom, I think. Yeah, that's the song. And then I added a dark glass overdrive in front just to make it sound more like dark glass product rather than just parallax. I tried to make these sound like a bass amp as much as possible. In hindsight, I probably should have used the seismic bass suite, but anyway, this is how the bass tones sound. Again, the dark glass units were actually dialed differently from the left side to the right side so that there is stereo separation. And then this is what it sounds like with the clean bass in there. those on their own can sound like a full bass tone, but you don't have enough low end for it to cut through. So you have this. You still able to hear me properly through there? And the bass parts were also MIDI through Umaski bass. We used similar methods as you saw with the drums, except we inputted like actual root notes of the bass itself, and we did that, and yeah, we have that exported as an actual MIDI file for bass as well. Now we're going into the guitars. Hopefully you can still hear the... Okay. These are the lead guitars. The lead guitars were done through SL100 plugin from NeuroDSP. Normally I'm against the idea of using a plugin for guitar tones, but with lead tones you can even get away with using like a Camel Crusher as your amp, and then just put an impulse response at the end of it, and it'll still sound just fine for a lead tone. Lead tones don't have to be like that. You don't really have to like get it to sound as good as possible, because like they're just gonna get like bandpassed to like a specific frequency anyway. So they don't, you don't have to put that much effort into lead tones. You have to put more effort into the like the really high gain tones. But for leads, like you can get away with a lot. I'll go over how to like record a DI in a guitar DI in like one of the future parts, probably part 4, and then the as for the vocal stuff, that's gonna come later. That was also SL100. this is the really like, this is the really difficult part of the whole tone. This is the high gain guitars, obviously. What we had to record this through is an actual amp setup. We ran it through a real precision drive pedal into a 5150 from Aris Effects. The 5150 preamp into GopTech PDEQ, like it's kind of like a depth and presence emulator, and then we have it sent to the 44 Magnum power amp, which go into an SM57 as an off-axis and an on-axis microphone. For the on-axis microphone, we have the D112 aimed straight to the dust cap. But we may have to like redo these guitar tones anyway, but because these can't come out very well. Additional like synth stuff to like add more depth to the song.
Everything's a joke, nothing but smoke. Until the possessor shoot up, that's all the mono bodies took. Everyone broke everything around, trips about it. Baby, I was just a hangry guy. That's when you get angry.
I could go for a PB&J and hope for it.
Baby, I was just a hangry guy. That's when you get angry, cause you're hungry and dry. Don't leave your friends fried. Hold up while I go paint the sky.
All these vocals just have like a DSR in front, and then there's just this to like just this to like get the vocals to like actually fit into the mix, and like we took out all the unnecessary low frequencies. We took out all the unnecessary low frequencies, and then we use this to like get the vocals to like cut through a lot more. Thank you, Joe Wanasek, for these plugins. And then this is the screen part, so I added additional like distortion. Check out this Fire, like the plugin is named Fire. Like if this is a really good plugin if you want like some saturation stuff and distortion stuff of multiband, especially if you want like multiband stuff. This is like even this alone might be enough to like create a bass tone if you really wanted. Again, you have this to like get all the unnecessary frequencies like filtered out. And then you have this to like get the vocals to like blend in. Everything except for the vocals are routed to here. These are the individual drums, and then these are the drums and drums into a bus, and then we use a parallel compression here. It's at nuke. All that stuff is going into this instrumental bus. At first it looks like we're doing nothing on here, but
That's when you get angry, cause you're hungry and dry. Don't leave your friends fried. Hold up while I go paint the sky. Angry guy. That's when you get angry, cause you're hungry and dry. Don't leave
obviously this is there to like, as a means to like side chain away the vocal frequency so that the vocals can cut through a little more. And then you have the vocals on its own bus. Just a slight reverb, nothing more. Just didn't do much else. And it goes into a little bit of tape. It goes into a little bit of tape like this. Copy the settings if you want. And it's just a bus compressor. And we used a slight imager to like to add a little bit more stereo. We made sure to not push too much. And the mastering chain is just 2012. But we did add like this power compression, like just to end up just crushing it right like this. And then at the end we just have the and then at the end we just have 2012. All right, in part 4, in part 4 we're going to go over how to like actually record like an actual DI track for the guitars, just to give you an idea like what you should be doing, and then we're gonna learn how to we're gonna go over how to reamp the guitars, and then in part 4 we're gonna go over like how to actually put together the vocal portions for your original track. Okay, have fun.